Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talking Sports. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner and co-founder of the Houston Roundball Review. Joining me is my young colleague Andy Yanez from Pause Slamma Jamma. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm wearing my brand new speckin' sunshine yellow Houston Roundball Review merch, my t-shirt right there. You can order it. Click on that shop button. It's in the link below the video. Do that. Help support the Round Bar Review to, in the words of Coach Kelvin Sampson, continuing to keep hitting that rock as we provide content and information and insight with our audience. And while we're at it, let me pull this up real quick if I can do it. Follow us, I guess, Andy. I guess we could say this. Follow us
X.
on X. I need to fix it. Let me go ahead and fix that right now. Let me fix that right now. On X. Do that real quick here. X. Follow us on X. Oops, wrong one. On X. There we go. X. There we go. X at Folks Talk Sports. But right there also, but
X.com.
I'm proud to say also, Folks Talking Sports on Threads and Folks Talking Sports on Instagram. So Andy and I are here. Thank you, everybody, for following us on YouTube, watching us on the Houston Roundball Review channel. Might be at some point in the future on the Folks Talking Sports YouTube channel. I got that created. We'll see how that goes. Just another platform for people to follow us, as well as on YouTube and X. And so, of course, here we go. Mr. Yanez. Colorado, days ago, announced they were joining the Big 12, returning to the Big 12, as I stated they would on July 16th. As I stated they would roughly 6 weeks ago. I mentioned here on FTS that Colorado would most likely return to the Big 12. It happened. I love Brett Yormark, Big 12 Commissioner's press statement. Simple, to the point, 2 words. They're back. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
I love that statement put out by Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark. He channeled a little bit of his inner Michael Jordan with that one, just with the simple, like you said, they're back. And Chris, you're right on the money. You called it weeks ago. You said it again after the Big 12 Media Day that it was coming. You said that move was coming, and you said sooner rather than later. I remember that I said I'll see it when I believe it, and you stayed to your source, and you said that it was eventually going to happen, and it was going to be Colorado. And here, lo and behold, earlier this week, it was announced that clearly Colorado was frustrated. They had had enough with George Kliavkoff and just the Pac-12, and it's kind of like they're trying to, not even trying to, they're kind of pulling the rug under all the Pac-12. I guess now the Pac-10, I guess now the
Like 9.
Pac-9
Yeah.
remaining schools in the conference. I mean, Chris, they teased that they had a new TV deal over a calendar year ago. They were supposed to be the next conference in line to renew their TV deal. Of course, we know that the Big 12 kind of leapfrogged them. They were able to secure that financial stability by being able to form a deal with the two giants in Fox Sports and ESPN. And the Pac 12 just kind of left reactive. They weren't
Right.
proactive, they were reactive, trying to react to everything that had gone on around the college landscape. And what a change, what a 24, not 24 hours, what a change over the course of 2 years, going back to 2021 when it was announced that Texas and Oklahoma were leaving for the SEC. It seemed like the Big 12 was a conference that was on a thread. There was talks about the American Athletic Conference poaching Big 12 programs. And 2 years later, it seems like the Pac 9 are hanging on by a thread. And now with Colorado jumping ship, there's a lot of noise that there's at the very least one more school that's not too far behind Colorado that very well could soon be a member of the Big 12 Conference as well.
Yep. The Pac-9, I think, will soon. I don't know about soon. Well, yeah, soon will be the Pac-8. I think Arizona will be next to follow Colorado to the Big 12. Got to finalize the numbers. I mean, the numbers I don't believe will change. Will be similar to what Colorado is receiving. the media rights deal, the clauses in the media rights deal allow for Autonomy 5 schools to receive pro rata as the current members. So that is the same as everybody else. The $31.7 million, $20 million from ESPN, $11.7 million from Fox. So Arizona making sure that dotting their I's, crossing their T's, all those things. And let me be clear. I was told, I heard from people around Colorado, people around the Big 12, and I got sources, folks, okay? I'm going to be more and more, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but for those who are new to the Houston Roundball Review, for those who are new to FTS, for those who are new to this YouTube channel, us on Twitter, etc., I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this longer than Andy's been alive, okay? So I have sources. I think Andy saw again at a recent UH practice, folks coming up talking to me, just chopping it up off the record.
Mm-hmm.
So I have sources.
They came to you. You didn't go to them. They came to you.
Thank you very much. Say that again, Andy. Say that again.
They came to you, sir, before UH's practice had even ended.
So I have sources since 1994. I got sources in conferences, in sports, in college, and some in the NBA, okay, in and around WNBA even. But I was told months ago Colorado was going to return to the Big 12. But the sticking point was they were waiting for concrete numbers from the Pac-12. They never got those concrete numbers. I don't care what Commissioner Kliavkoff says, what the conference tweets out about meetings, about this, that, and the other. We're close in the near future. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it for months, weeks, months, a year. They never got concrete numbers. Got to a point, Colorado said, we can't wait for maybe coulda, shoulda, woulda, possibly, if this, if that. So they did what I was told directly to my face, to my shiny bald head at Big 12 Football Media Day. Big Thrillo, thank you for joining in.
What media day, Chris?
Big 12 Football Media Day. To my face, that Colorado would return to the Big 12 by the end of July. That happened, okay? One more time. It was told to me by a high-up person in the Big 12 that they were going to return to the Big 12. And, of course, the sticking point would be contingent upon definite numbers from the Pac-12, media rights. They never got them. So Colorado said, well, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. We're going to go with what we know we're going to get. And that's 31.7 minimum media rights deal from the Big 12, from ESPN and Fox. Okay? That's what they did. That's why they did it. And all signs point to that's why Arizona is going to do the same thing. I'm not sure if it'll be this week, in a couple of weeks. That part about, I don't know the definitive timetable, but Andy, Corey, Big Thrillo, this is where we're going to get to the discussion for most of FTS tonight. Why wouldn't Arizona join the Big 12? Based on, barring some change, the Pac-12 still has presented none of their remaining 9 members concrete money, concrete dollar amounts that they're going to get from whoever media rights partners, ESPN, Amazon, Apple, CW, whoever. Andy Yanez. I don't know. Andy got big bucks. I don't know. He got deep pockets, whatever. But barring that, why would anyone not, like Arizona, specific because basketball as well, not join the Big 12? Andy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is no reason. There's no argument you could make to stay in the Pac-9, and currently they have 9. But we know that Oregon, most definitely Washington as well, you can pencil them in there. They don't want to stay in the Pac-9. 9 either. They want to go into the Big Ten Conference. They're hoping for an invitation to the Big Ten Conference. So it's in the best interest. Colorado did what's best for business. You could even see it in the statements that they released after the move became official. They're doing this strictly for financial reasons. It's what's in the best interest of most benefit for Colorado. It's got to be the same mindset for Arizona. And if you're the Big 12 Conference, you welcome them with open arms, because especially when you look at it from a basketball standpoint, of course, when you look at it from the time zone market, for at least, what is it, Arizona? I think it's until October, whenever the daylight saving times ends. They would
Mountain
stretch
West, but
off
technically,
more.
come daylight saving, they don't observe it. So I mean, technically, Willie Gibson joining us from Ohio, technically they would be Pacific because they don't observe the daylight saving time change. Will, how are you, brother?
Doing well, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing good, Will.
All right. Will, you're joining us. I'm patting myself on the back. I'm not being arrogant.
Of course.
Okay. But I'm just want to let everyone know who sees the rebroadcast of this edition of FTS episode 103. Let me be clear. I said it 2 weeks ago. I said it 6 weeks ago that Colorado was going to return to the Big 12.
Yep.
Okay?
You did.
And I said on July 12th, it was told to my face and my shiny bald head.
Yep.
By a high up source in the Big 12 that Colorado was going to return to the Big 12, barring seeing legitimate concrete numbers from the Pac-12, which they never got. And they still haven't gotten. Kliavkoff still has not delivered to the president's chancellors concrete numbers from media partners.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Mr. Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Explain to me. Make it make sense to me, Brother Gibson and Brother Yanez. Make it make sense to me. Why would Apple, Ace Times Finance, Big Thrillo, Corey Miller, why would Apple, Amazon, CW, Ion, ESPN, Fox, etc., why would any of those media corporations agree to numbers with the Pac-12, Kliavkoff, with the uncertainty of which teams are going to stay members of the Pac-12, 8, 9, 6, 7 conference? Brother Gibson, you got it.
They would. They would. And I'm glad you said it, because I'm calling it the Pac-9. And as you said, perhaps the Pac-8, depending on what the Arizona Wildcats do here shortly. But they wouldn't. And nor should they.
Yes.
Nor should they. So it's bad business to agree to a deal when, in fact, you don't know who you're agreeing with. Period.
Right. And that is another reason why everyone says, I say it, I think you guys, y'all got common sense sometimes is not always common, but in this case, it's common. Arizona is next in line to follow Colorado to the Big 12.
Yep. Because
they know what they're going to get from the Big 12. They have no idea what they're going to get from the Pac-12. Kliavkoff can say, hey, Will, Andy, Corey, Ace Towns, we've read it, heard it. It's in the future. Couple of weeks, month. I mean, they messed themselves up with the point of their last statement. We won't expand until we get a media rights deal. Why? How in the hell are you going to get a media rights deal not knowing who's going to stay in your conference?
That part.
That makes no sense. It's made no sense. And we can get into, now we're going into other parts of where I'm going. I got a clip from Commissioner Resco. I'm going to put it out there, okay, regarding SMU, Rice. And I'm saying this, and there won't be much Rocket talk tonight. So I'm just putting it out there. Rocket fans, you hopping on here for the Roundball review for Rocket talk, ain't happening tonight. Not very, very, very unlikely. Okay, I'm just being real. We're going to talk boxing, Pac-12, Big 12. Okay, because hey, that's what we can do here on FTS, on Folks Talking Sports. But Rice has been reported to contact the Pac-12. Why? Because Tulane. Why?
All due respect.
You have no idea what will be left of the Pac-12, the Pac-9 as it is currently, and if Arizona leaves, which I think and most folks believe will join the Big 12, that's 8. I'm going to go worst case scenario. And this is truly worst case scenario. I'm not believing it'll happen. But based on still no numbers from CW, Ion, Fox, ESPN, Apple, Amazon to the Pac-X. See what I did there? Pac-X.
Yeah, I see it.
Why would Oregon and Washington stay in the Pac-X?
They shouldn't. And Phil Knight has a lot to do with it as far as Oregon's concerned. And I'm going to say, I guarantee they won't stay, if in fact that's the issue.
And see, Andy, I want to get your thoughts on this. I think it was Brett McMurphy from Action Network. He put out there, and it's plausible that there is some trepidation from folks in the Big 12 about having Oregon and Washington join because it'd be temporary, because their eye is ultimately on the Big 10. Let me say this. No kidding. No stuff. I want to say something else. We'll talk with an S. But because if the Big 10 called Reno Couture and said, we want Houston to join the Big 10, she's going to say, do you want us today or tomorrow? Any current Big 12 member school is going to say, well, where do we hit? What do you need from us? I don't care if Oregon, Washington are in the Big 12 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. You will stabilize the Big 12. You could have 16 teams. You'd have legitimately, finally, which a lot of folks seem to kind of forget. Brett Yormark has said for a long time, Andy, Will, Corey, Big Thrillo, A-Town's finest, he wants the Big 12 to be a national conference, a 4-time zone conference. Andy, Will, Colorado, Arizona are not in the Pacific time zone. They're Mountain West. That's 3 time zones. So I don't care if it's for 3, 4, 5 years. Oregon, Washington joined the Big 12. The Big 12 becomes a 4-time zone conference. Duh. I mean, I can't put it any plainer than that. It's up to Oregon and Washington to say, yes, thank you, we'll accept the 31.7. I don't care. I wouldn't be surprised if they say, okay, fellas, we're going to sign this deal, take this money. But y'all know, just so we're clear, y'all know if the Big 10 comes calling, we're gone and whatever. Okay. I mean, well, it makes sense to us. So would TCU, so would Baylor, so would Kansas, so would Kansas State. Deuces, we're out of here. Go ahead, Andy. Your thoughts.
You're absolutely right. At the end of the day, what's in the best interest for the Big 12 is if they can get those premier programs and anchor down the conference. First and foremost, solidifying that you are that top 3rd power conference right behind the SEC and the Big 10. And looking at it from Oregon and Washington's perspective, how would that not be more attractive than what currently is the Pac? The Pac-9 currently what very well could be the Pac-8. And numbers that have been guesstimated when you look at across different reporters that are tracking the TV deals would be at the most number I've seen is around 21 million per school,
right?
Which is 10 million less than what you would get in the Big 12. And that was before they lost Colorado. And if Arizona does indeed jump ship, it's not going to go any higher than that. There's no downfall.
Will?
Agreed. I mean, I apologize. Can you say it one more time? Ohio State just signed a recruit, so I apologize. I missed that question.
Okay, no. Corey Miller will be happy about that. But why Oregon, Arizona joined the Big 12?
Yep.
And saying, I mean, I don't care. I will not be shocked. I mean, it might be bad business, but common sense, logically, if they say to the Big 12 higher ups, okay, we're going to agree to this deal to join the Big 12, but just so we're clear, if the Big 10 comes calling, we out.
Yeah, same question. Okay. Well, I sorry to poo-poo on the question. Big Ten's not going to call. I know. They're not. 16 is it. 16 is it for the Big Ten. I know the mathematics is off, but the USC and UCLA is it. Tony Petitti, they just had Big Ten football media days last week. They're good at 16. But that being said, should they keep all options open? Yeah, absolutely. However, meanwhile, get the bag.
Yes.
Get the bag while it's available to be had. Like you said, Andy, 21 million, $10 million, almost $11 million difference. Who would not sign up for that? So yeah, for sure.
And the 21 million, we're not even sure if that is what it is.
Right.
Okay. It might be less.
Yep.
It could be more, but it could be majority 60, 70, 80, 90%, 100% streaming. Most of the schools don't want that. They don't want that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was tied damn near at the hip with Colorado returning to the Big 12. I've been sitting on this for a long ass time. Okay, that it was going to happen. I'm less tied at the hip with Oregon and Washington. Not sure about them. I'm pretty sure Arizona's coming to the Big 12. Pretty sure.
I'm very sure. Yep.
But I'm gonna toss a curveball, and I'm gonna say this. I've tried to clean it up as best I could and remove some of the background. But let me say this. I got some curveballs to toss at y'all in the audience watching us on Folks Talk Sports on X and on YouTube at the Houston Roundball Review and on Facebook, etc. We had a sit down. Me, A.D. Moore, and the fifth with Wildcat, Jerry Woodley Jr. had a sit down with Mike Oresco. Okay? One more time. Mike Oresco, commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. So people wondering, Chris, you ain't got no sources. One more time. Had a sit down with the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. He took time out from Football Media Day. Andy, one more time.
What sport?
The Football Media Day that the Houston Roundball reviews at. Football Media Day of the American, not just the Big 12, the American Football Media Day. He sat down almost half hour, chopping it up with us. I posted some clips on Instagram at FTS Folks Talking Sports, and of course now on Threads, Folks Talking Sports. But the first part of this may not be great, but I'm gonna cut it off. But just the question is from AD, and it's about realignment.
idea on how it's going to develop. We have to be alert and keep our eyes open. There might be an opportunity if conferences implode down the road. I would hope that we'd be an attractive place.
If conferences implode down the road, that's the Pac-8. My bad. The Pac-X. That's the Pac-X. I'm gonna go there. Everyone watching us all over the platforms. Worst case scenario. Arizona, we all believe, is going to join the Big 12. So that leaves 8. Oregon, Washington say, well, we ain't got no money, concrete numbers from the Pac-X. We're going to go to the Big 12. That leaves 6. Mr. Yanez, Mr. Gibson. 6 schools remaining in the Pac. The American has 14. Mike Oresco, at that point, the Pac down to 6, Mike Oresco can say, let me see, knock, knock, knock. Whose phone number can I? Who should I call? Should I call Utah? Should I call Arizona State? Hell, should I call Cal, Stanford? Should I call Oregon State, Wazoo? Which one of y'all want to come join the American? Make us a 16-team conference? Or hell, if ESPN and Fox say, specifically ESPN, says, Mike, the conference has an ESPN Plus deal. We have ESPN Plus with the American streaming platform. You know what? Go to 20, Mike. Go ahead, go to 20. Absorb all 6 of those left. Stable numbers, stable conference. Who says no?
What if the Pac-12 calls Memphis?
They have to call somebody. Call Memphis, Boise State, whoever, San Diego State. But in that case, Will, Andy, Corey, Tony, ESPN says to the Pac-X, yeah, we're not giving y'all no money. So I don't care who y'all bring. Y'all bring Memphis, SMU, Boise. I don't care what y'all do. We're not paying y'all.
For all we know, they're not giving them money now.
Exactly.
So what's the difference?
So, but my scenario is, what if ESPN says, we'll give them money, we'll make them whole if they join the American?
Well, I know that the American Athletic Conference is not going to say no to that. No chance. They love it, especially when you look at it. Oh, like I said, once Oklahoma and Texas left for the SEC, there was rumored that the American was going to do it to the Big 12. So wouldn't it be fitting if the American ends up doing it to the Pac, like you said, Chris,
right?
The Pac-X. But again, stables right now. What is it around the American? It's depending on the school. It's around $8 million per TV, a little bit less.
7 to 8 million per. Yes. So clearly it'd be for the schools that are left in the Pac, it's better than nothing.
Right.
Because as of right now, there is no media rights deal for the Pac. So that 7 to 8 million beats 0. Okay.
Definitely.
As opposed to 20, 21, 22, 25, whatever.
I will say this though, like, even if they lose Oregon and Washington, Arizona, there could be a chance that the Pac-X survives by calling a San Diego State, calling a Boise State, and maybe not being that Power 5 level, but beating 7.5 mil per.
I agree. So let's go with that scenario. What if the Pac and the Mountain West decide to merge, or take the best from Mountain West? That's Boise, Colorado State, San Diego State, whatever, Air Force, whatever. I think Air Force is going to join the American eventually, but have a, dare I say it, Will, an alliance between the Pac and the Mountain West.
Who got left out of the alliance?
But again,
we're talking about the alliance,
right? But if the TV partners or the media rights partners say, "Oh, that's cute," okay, we'll give y'all $5 million per school. That still is not 7 or 8 million per school like the Americans getting. Because one thing Commissioner Resco told us in Tuesday's sit down, that ESPN made whole the members of the American, made whole with these 6 incoming members. So the returning members and the incoming members made whole. And I got something here, a clip where I asked Rice football head coach Mike Bloomgren at the American Football Media Day the difference between the American and Conference USA. Check out especially his answer toward the end. Gardner, folks talking sports, what are differences between the American and Conference USA?
So far, it's an awesome media day. I don't know that I could speak to much else. The preparation that Mike Oresco makes your whole campus commit to when you're talking about joining is outstanding. The ways we've been able to take care of our student athletes has been awesome. Some of the things, like as we're looking at our schedule, like we play our opener on Fox, we play the next game on NFL Network, and then we know we're either going to be on ESPN Linear or we're going to be on ESPN Plus. I mean, that's exciting. This is not to knock anything, but there's some games that we've played on in the past on some services where it's hard to tell a recruit to come watch you. Like, please download this app and go to this part of it. You know, like we don't have to worry about that. We're on linear TV or ESPN Plus or now Fox and NFL Network as well.
Imagine that.
That clip should be posted on the American website, on the homepage, to say to Conference USA, how you like us now? You don't have to worry about going to a recruit or his family. Okay, well, y'all need to download this to make sure you can watch us on CUSA TV or whatever the hell it was that Conference USA was doing last couple of years. So it's perception. And Andy, Will, you know, especially because you're at the mountaintop, you're at the peak in the P2 at the Ohio State, Corey. See, I'm giving y'all love, Corey. The Ohio State. But think about the difference. And I've said this to UH alums for a long time since UH was in the American Athletic Conference. Many of UH alums fail to realize that UH, before getting in the American, the TV deal the media rights deal that Mike Oresco got with ESPN Plus, it was trash. Pure trash. You could not find UH, what was it, Andy? Conference USA, whatever. I mean, just you could not find games for UH basketball, men's basketball, etc., for them to watch on easy access platforms. But Andy, basketball-wise, toward the end of UH's time in the conference, UH was either on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, damn near every week.
Damn near every game.
Every game, conference game, was on one of those platforms. Now you shift that to Rice.
Against Memphis on CBS.
Thank you. Rice, UTSA, UAB, schools coming from Conference USA, and you tell them, okay, y'all are going from Facebook Watch or CUSA TV to ESPNU/ESPN Plus. Oh, well, hell, let's do it. Let's do it. It's all good. So the perception is also reality. These coaches and conferences now in the American joining the conference, they're in hog heaven. They think this is the best thing in the world. Transfer that. UH, Coach Holgerson. I'm going to Cincinnati, coach. Who is coaching football coach? Got Coach Miller, my basketball coach.
Scott
Satterfield.
Yep.
They're like, oh, well, we're going to be on the big boys ESPN now. You're raising up the level of linear exposure, but it's all about levels of distribution. The Pac-X may be ending up with, okay, Johnny Jr., what you need to do, okay, I'm reading my notes here in my description. The instructions say you need to download this first, and then once you install this, that should help you able to watch our games on this platform. Mm-hmm. Damn, coach, I got to do all that? I'm just going to go to ESPN Plus or Peacock or ESPNU. So, yeah, I'll call you back, coach, but thank you for your time. Come on.
Nope.
That's not happening. It happen for here, bits and pieces here and there, but more times than not, the kids that the remaining Pac conferences, Pac-X schools are recruiting. We're going to be on what level? We're going to be on who? On what? We got to do what? To do who? Damn, George. Y'all couldn't do better than this? All right, well, yeah, let me call up. Let me see if I got Michael Resco's number. Or let me see what I, because even CBS Sports, Mountain West, CBS Sports is not available in as many households as ESPN/ESPN Plus. That's one of the comments that Commissioner Resco said to me in my clip that's on Instagram, on the gram, on FTS. So the Pac-X, I don't know what's going to happen. And let me be clear. I'm a basketball person. Y'all know it. It's still the Houston Roundball Review presents whatever. I don't want to see the Pac-X die because I love Pac-X basketball, men's and women's basketball. I don't know where they're going to end up playing. I don't know if it's going to be on Ion. I don't know if it's going to be on CW. I know when my provider dropped the Pac-12 networks, I could no longer watch them. So I was like, well, damn. I guess got to find another way to watch them, fill up my Friday nights because I can't watch Pac-12 basketball. They are speeding with a bullet to that scenario for Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, Stanford. And if Oregon and Washington don't do something, possibly them too. What say you, Mr. Gibson?
Yeah, well, to answer your last point, Oregon and Washington are definitely going to do something. Again, Phil Knight is not going to sit back and watch his, I almost said organization, but if we're talking about scholastic, academic, so university,
yep,
fall by the wayside. He's not going to do it. So absolutely, they'll do something. But I just can't get past the Ion and the CW like that. I mean, it's one thing to say ESPN Plus, and I'm not besmirching that at all. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer is preempted for Stanford Kyle. Like,
yep.
What? Like, I don't even know if Buffy the Vampire Slayer still exists. I just made that up. I don't know. But to see that, and he still hasn't announced that.
Right.
That, I'm like, I mean, it is crazy to think about the Pac whatever, because I read something, I think Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. It was back from 2011, where Larry Scott was the commissioner of the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an opportunity for Texas and Oklahoma to join the Pac, whatever it was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said no.
The president said no.
The president said no.
Yeah, he wanted it. Will, Andy,
That
Corey,
sounds very similar
Tony,
to when
right, Big Thrillo. I'm going to go even before that, 2011. Before that, I was in an office of a prominent person. This prominent person told me that there were serious talks. I think I've said it here on FTS before. Serious talks of the Pac adding UH, Oklahoma, and I think Texas and SMU. So that's not Oklahoma State. Listen to what I said. Texas, OU, UH, and SMU to the Pac. That was like 2008, 2009. I'm sitting in this prominent person's office. We've said it for, all of us have said it. The Pac-12 needs to expand to the Central Time Zone in order to survive. As FTS going into a second season, full season. Part of that we said in the first season, for survival, the Pac needs to expand to the Central Time Zone, and that includes inviting, before UH got the invitation, so hell, it might have been 2 years ago, inviting UH to join the Pac. They didn't do it. And now they are kneecapped. It is amazing the irony of this whole scenario. You guys weren't part of this. I met you after the fact, and I'm glad to have met you after the fact. But on one of my initial podcasts, where I did it with Dr. Kenyatta Cavill and the Fifth Ward Wildcat, it's called KG, Doc, and the Fifth Ward Wildcat. About 4 or 5 years ago. Those podcasts were the impetus to these shows, because they got me meeting AJ and ultimately meeting Will, Andy, etc. Way back when, I lit into Bob Bowlesby. Lit into him because of his lack of vision. For Texas, OU leaving, going to the SEC, the Big 12 was dying. We thought the Big 12 was just done. It was toast. It was over. But lo and behold, 2023, July, almost August, look at the Big 12 now. The Big 12 is taking schools from the Pac-12. You know, I'm saying schools, plural, because I think Arizona will be next. Yeah. And then we'll see who else it comes after that. Big 12 has stability. When I'm not naive, neither is Brett Yormark, anybody else with the Big 12. They're not catching the Big 10. They're not catching the SEC. But they're leaving the Pac-12 in the dust.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We believe that. We see that for a fact. But let me say this to everyone, and I think, folks, you've read it. If you haven't read it on other outlets, Commissioner Yormark, and again, I'm going based on a high up source, Commissioner Yormark would prefer, if he could wave his magic wand and say, okay, I want this school, that school, blah, blah, blah. He wants UConn. Okay? UConn, Northeast, New York market. That's what he wants, to really have just a firm hold of the Eastern time zone. But Mr. Gibson, Mr. Yanez, Mr. Miller, Thurlow, Tony M, UConn is not an Autonomy 5 program. They're a G5 school, which means they are not entitled to receiving a pro rata deal, which means they're not entitled to receiving the same money as the current members of the Big 12. Okay, so that means ESPN and Fox don't have to give them $31.7 million, which means UConn would split the pie of what the current members would receive, which the current members are like, well, I'm not sure I want UConn then. If they're going to take money out of my pocket, I mean, if they're going to receive $31.7 million like the rest of us, okay, I'm good with that.
Right.
But if they're going to cut us down to 28, 29, 25, Brett, you need to rethink that. So we're going to see clearly the conference wants the G5 schools like Arizona, Oregon, and Washington. They want Power 5 programs, Autonomy 5 programs, because they all receive the same thing. That's what the clause is in the media rights deal for Autonomy 5 programs versus G5 programs. Sorry, Commissioner Resco, but A5, G5. So that'd be the ideal scenario. So 3 more A5 schools could receive 31.7 each. G5, like UConn and Gonzaga, would not receive that. I don't know what it'd be, 15, 18, whatever. It'd be more than 5, 6, 7 they're getting from UConn, the Big East, media rights deal, Mountain West for the Zags, West Coast for the Zags. Be more than that. The Zags would like to bring all their schools, all their sports to the Big 12. Big 12's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. No. You sure? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. No. So that's one reason why Gonzaga. That's why they kind of been pushed back to the back burner. But we're going to see how much sway, how much pull Commissioner BY has with the presidents and chancellors if it gets to a point where UConn is the best option remaining on the table. Because we think Arizona will join. I'm not sure about Oregon and Washington. They might stay at 14. Hell, what if it's split? What if it's just Oregon decides to join? I don't know, whatever. But UConn, the commissioner of the Big 12 wants UConn. But what if he can't get UConn, Will?
I mean, let's see. I'm trying to think who else is in that northeastern market. You got to go back. You got to circle back to Oregon and Washington at that point because there's no other viable option in the Northeast.
Agreed.
There's not. So
I mean, some folks tossed out St. John's, but
no,
St. John's ain't been relevant in 30 years.
No. And I don't know. I missed the beginning of it. That's why, as I think about this, kudos to Rick George.
Yeah,
Colorado AD.
Mm-hmm.
He struck while the iron was hot, and he had to. He had to. His team was his football team was 1-11 last year. Say they hired Dion, they hired Coach Pride, they hired, they sold out since 2005. I think they've sold out 5 football games total, and this year they've sold out 2. Be like, oh, he only sold out 2 games. Yeah, but he sold out 5 in the previous 18 seasons.
Yep, 17
seasons. So he struck while the iron was hot, and kudos to him. What was that, Andy?
No, I was going to say, to add on to your point, I mean, the buzz for Colorado, that program is at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, so he struck when the iron was hot. So kudos to him. Kudos to the chancellor, to the president, the administration. They did it.
And Colorado's season opener, Will?
September 2nd. TCU, September 2nd, on Fox. Fox, big noon Saturday, big noon kickoff.
Yep, big noon kickoff on Fox.
Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, and then the game after that, week 2.
Yep,
against Nebraska, the home opener.
Fox. So at some point during those games, the announce crew, I'm sure, will mention, well, this could be a potential Big 12 conference matchup next season. These 2 teams will be joined. Colorado, of course, if you don't know, will be joining the Big 12 next season.
Yep.
That's going to be more just cuts to the Pac-X. The Pac-X just messed this up just so royally. And the kicker, as we're going to get into boxing in these final moments of FTS, the kicker Friday, July 21st, at Pac-12 Media Day, which was available on numerous platforms, not just the Pac-12 Network, which I don't have. Commissioner said, we have a media rights deal. We're not going to announce it today because we want the spotlight on the football players, coaches, etc. Commissioner Kleakoff was asked, so Commissioner, so you have a deal, but you're just choosing to not announce it today. Is that correct? Commissioner's answer, well, you're reading too much into that.
Yeah.
He said numerous times, we have a media rights deal, but we're not going to announce it today at Media Day because we want the spotlight on our players and coaches and teams.
That just took the spotlight off of them. The fact that you said we have a deal. Because the follow-up.
Bingo.
All right.
That was it. That was the nail in the coffin right there. That was it. And this is hours after he called a meeting, damn near an emergency meeting with the presidents and chancellors, ADs, to ease the waters, and presented nothing, no new numbers, no new details to the membership. So that was it for Colorado. This man ain't give us squat. This man has given us if this, woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybe this, that, and other. Oh yeah, we're out of here. Yeah, we're out. We're done. Deuces. We're out of here. In Arizona being professional, cordial, respectful, we're going to wait to see the numbers that from the commissioner. We're going to continue to wait. We love being a member of the Pac-12 conference. Show us the money.
Chris, when does the TV deal expire for the Pac-9, Pac-X?
Next June 30th, 2024.
And so less than a year.
Yes.
Still no new deal has been reached.
No new deal.
Right there.
No leaks of anything. No details. Just in the near future, we're going to announce a deal. We're not going to expand until we have announce our media rights deal, which goes back to the point.
Make your conference more attractive, therefore we're bringing in more money. All right, I'm making sense. Let me stop.
Exactly. You're making sense. Everybody out there in the common sense world is like, why are you waiting on the media rights deal before you expand? What corporation is going to give you money when they don't know who's going to be in the conference? Okay, George, yeah, we're going to give you, you're losing Arizona? Okay, now we're going to give you, oh, wait, Oregon's leaving too? Okay, then now we're going to give you, oh, well, damn, Washington too? Okay, well, hell, George, what you got left? I mean, come on. And this is no hate. Ryan and Go Coogs is right. SMU might be perfect for the Pac-12. They got the money. You know, the deep pockets, they don't do much else with their money. And they don't, haven't had a lot of success on the football field go back to the Pony Express when there was the best team money could buy. No shade on that. I mean, everybody was doing it back then in the Southwest Conference. But hey, then going to it, the Pac should have invited SMU years ago in order just for the Central Time Zone. Just for that. Have the recruiting into Texas, the state of Texas. Same with Houston. They didn't want to do it. They are, we're better than these programs. We're better than boys. We're better than Houston. We're better than that. Well, okay, well, this is why you're about to die. Okay. So that's where they are. Gentlemen, Kevin Jasso, thank you. It's a new name here commenting on FTS. Thank you very much. Don't be a stranger. Big Thrillo, Corey, Will, Andy. Did y'all get a chance to watch the Errol Spence, Terence Crawford fight last night?
I watched Bud Crawford.
You watched Bud Crawford. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Andy, did you watch it? Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did not, but I heard how lopsided it was.
I did not. One of my buddies, a fellow UH alum, invited me to an establishment, and we watched it there. No cover charge, win. So we watched it, had a adult beverage and some food, and watched the fight. UFC was on the screen as well. I picked Bud to win the fight beforehand. I think my folks, some of my fans on the Let's Talk Houston Rockets asked me about it, and I picked Bud. I thought it'd be a close fight when I was asked 8 days ago. I thought it'd be a close fight. Terence Crawford dominated that fight. I mean, Errol Spence looked like he was, and I know what Thurlow's talking about right here. I mean, it like this.
Yeah.
It looks like an elite fighter against a good/great fighter. I mean, Errol Spence was undefeated. So was Bud. Bud looked so much better than Spence. He outclassed Spence. Well, I don't know how long you watch boxing.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare that a power jab is that powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, Bud, when his jab hurt, backed up Spence. When he tagged him, Spence was like, damn, that hurt. Ooh, damn. Yeah. He cut up Spence. Blooded his nose. His eyes were swollen. This is from jabs, power jabs.
Yeah.
And then when he added in the hooks and the counters, it was like we were, three of us were there sitting at the table about round 6 or so. We're like, this fight ain't gonna last much longer. Stop this fight. This it was a beat down.
Yeah.
Will, were you surprised at how lopsided it was?
I was, man. I mean, both great fighters. But as you said, as Thurlow just said, it's clearly levels. I mean, you came in, at least I came into the fight thinking, all right, this is about to be a super fight. I'm not gonna say Hagler Hearns, but something, you have somewhat equal boxers.
Right.
After the first round, I would say Spence came out in round 1 and looked to establish some things, but after that, it was the Bud Crawford show.
Yeah. Spence won the first round because Bud starts slow, as he does it almost all his fights.
Yeah.
Because he processes, all right, what works? What works for me against this dude? Starting round 2, the last minute of round 2, I think Bud missed a right hook, barely missed. And I was like, oh, he got the timing down now. And then from then on, it was a complete mismatch, man. And Jamon brings up a question. Statement is legit.
Oh, yeah. Without question.
But the irony is, Spence wants, because he said before the fight, he wants to move up after, regardless of whether win or lose, he's going to move up to 154.
Yeah.
And he was asked after the fight, are you going to exercise your rematch clause? Oh, most definitely. And where would you like the fight to take place? 154, 147. Oh, 154. Will, why would Bud do that?
He wouldn't. He shouldn't.
He shouldn't. He's undisputed at 147. Why would he agree to that? Why should he agree to that? I mean, unless it's like 75-25 payout, or something more, why should he agree to that?
There's no reason in the world he should agree to any of that.
So we'll see it be the end of the year, like I think December.
Yeah.
Boy, December could be a lot of fun for us in Vegas, man.
Yeah.
And December, and you need to come along, man, because we got the NBA play-in tournament deal. We could have the Spence Crawford rematch, and who knows what else happening in December in Vegas. And should be cooler then. Won't be as oppressive and won't mess up my eyes and my nose. It won't be 115 every day.
I'll add this just in terms of the fight to connect it all to what we've talked about in today's episode. That fight was the epitome of what the Big 12 has done to the Pac-X. To leave it at that.
Really, that's what it is. Brett Yormark has outclassed George Kliavkoff. That's a great analogy. Great point, Andy. That's what it has come down to. But we're gonna wrap it up. I'm surprised. I guess I don't know if I should say I'm still surprised at how the Pac-12 presidents, chancellors, writers, ADs
Oh, don't get the writers,
seem,
the arrogant writers.
seem to be still in the dark about what's happened, what's happening, what's going to happen. I mean,
There's
who
Chris.
who?
Let's just
Go ahead, Andy. Who are you talking to? Because there were different folks I was talking to. Like I said, I've known for months, and I'm not the only one who's known for months that Colorado was going to the Big 12, barring concrete numbers that made sense for them to stay in the Pac-12, which they never got. Andy, what are you going to say?
the only thing. There's just something about the Pac at the time, the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever you want to call the conference now. I don't know if you can call it arrogance, but there's just something about people that cover the conference that hold it up to such a high standard. When Houston played, the Houston Cougars men's basketball team played up in Oregon this past fall, November, past winter, whatever season it was. They were really something about it. Seemed like some writers there were shocked that Houston went in there and they imposed their will like they did against the Ducks. And then after the game, they wanted to ask Kelvin Sampson what it felt like to play against a Power 5 opponent. Maybe it's different in the West Coast and the Pac-12 conference.
I mean, maybe it is. I mean, their perception is just not reality. Because, Andy, you know, the first home game for the Coogs inside Fertitta Center was against Oregon. I mean, so it's not like it's the first time those two programs squared off.
They played less than 2 years ago, wasn't
Yeah.
it? What was it when they played in Maui and won in Vegas?
All right. I almost forgot. Andy, thank you very much for bringing up UH men's basketball. The Cougs men's team will have their red and white scrimmage this Tuesday at Fertitta Center. Doors open at 6. I think 6. Scrimmage is at 7. It won't last long. I'm probably half hour, maybe 40 minutes. I doubt that long, but whatever.
Last year they did one period of what was it?
Yeah, it was like
2
two 8-minute quarters, something like that. It wasn't long at all. But in terms of matchups, in terms of teams who they're going to play in Australia, initially the hope was that there would be a press release sent out last Friday. Didn't happen because they're still hammering out details of the opponents. The team is still going to Australia, leaving August 4th. We know they're going to play the Australian national team. That game will not be streamed. Okay? Coach Sampson told media that they're going to play the Sydney Hawks. That seems to be set as well on August 6th or 7th in Australia. I think streaming is set up for that. All right, to be from the Sydney Hawks broadcast point of view. They're going to play, Coach Sampson said it, the Australian select team. So that's the youngsters team. Well, it's like the U.S. version of Kate Cunningham and Chet Holmgren and all those guys here in the States helping go against the U.S. national team.
Yeah, isn't that a big team be at the World Cup at that point?
Maybe. Yeah. So that's one. But the fourth matchup is still to be determined. So it's a question of who that's going to be. I mean, Coach Sampson said he loves to play the national team again, get beat down again, because I've seen the roster for that team. Ooh, boy, that's a bunch of pros. I mean, it's a bunch of NBA guys. It's a bunch of grown-ass men. You know, but it won't be streamed. So at minimum, 2 of the 4 games will be streamed. Okay, I know that much. I've seen that much. I've heard that much. Perhaps, hopefully, finally, it'll be announced. Everything will be finalized by August 1st, and the school will send a press release with all the concrete details. So stay tuned to that on uhcougars.com, as well as, of course, here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, on X at HR Review, on Houston Roundball Review on Threads, Houston Roundball Review on Instagram, and of course, HoustonRoundballReview.com on the website. So all that, this hang tight. It's not been official yet. Brother Gibson.
Yes, sir.
The Hueys. The UH women's basketball team is planning to take a trip overseas next summer.
Okay.
So I've been told of a couple of possible destinations. I won't say them now, but it's in the works. So look for that at some point. I'm not sure about when it'll be announced, but next August, the women's team will be going overseas. That's the plan for the Houston Cougars women's basketball team.
So the team is going. I'll leave that there.
You said it, Will.
I know. I saw I was over here like, all right. I'll leave that.
You said that. See, Andy, Will said that. Yes. I didn't say that. Will said that.
You know, NBA game, you foul. Yep.
Oh, okay. So, but my Sunshine Yellow shirt is a Houston Roundball Review shirt. Merch right there. You can order it online. There's a shop button below the video posted on YouTube, as well as shop button for this Houston Roundball Review mug. Full disclosure, my FTS mug arrived with my shirt yesterday, but the handle was in pieces. Mm-hmm. So I filled out the paperwork for another mug, but it only took a week for the merch to arrive, which surprised me a lot because I thought it would take 2-3 weeks. But yes, support the Houston Roundball Review, support Folks Talking Sports, order some merch, click on the link, click that shop button. I think it says shop below the vid on YouTube. Links to the merch are posted on the homepage of the Houston Roundball Review website. All over the place, really. They're on Threads. It's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook at the Roundball Review Facebook page. All those platforms. So help the Roundball Review remain independent and also help the Roundball Review continue to keep hitting that rock, because at some point, I'm not sure if it's going to be soon, get advertised on FTS, but at some point, I love to say to Brother Gibson, Brother Yanez, where y'all want to go? Y'all want to take what trip?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead. It's in the budget. Let me know when you get back. That's where I want to take the Houston Roundball Review and FTS. And salute to A.D. Moore. Mr. Moore finally, I'm don't say to him, I finally created the FTS Instagram as well myself, like last 2 weeks. So I'm close to the party myself. But A.D. Moore is now on Instagram. And I think he's working on getting A.D. Moore on Threads as well. But regarding his YouTube channel, Mr. Moore has started posting some clips from Houston Texans practice as YouTube shorts or the full YouTube video. So check that out at A.D. Moore, the Ad Max Corner on YouTube. A.D. Max Korner, Ad Max Corner on YouTube. Mr. Gibson, you got the floor is yours. Close us out. How can folks find you? And I think I got to update this. So, because you have a new something, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yep. Yeah, as AD yourself, I'm working on it. We'll get it. Can I say one thing before?
Please do.
I want to shout out New York Jets defensive back Sauce Gardner. That
love their last name. Love their last name.
Yeah.
That's kinfolk right there. Yep.
Of course. Be proud of your kinfolk for this. He is graduating from the University of Cincinnati this week. Defensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL. He took online classes during the season last year to complete his degree in interdisciplinary studies. So I just want to shout out that young man. Salute for completing his degree. And I just wanted to give him a shout out. That's impressive to me. I'm always, you hear the negative, we report on, but something that's positive, I definitely do my best to magnify that. So
Appreciate that. But yeah, I'm happy for Ken Folk. So yes, good looking out for
American
him.
Athletic Conference alumni.
That's right.
As well.
AAC,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
All right, how can folks find you, Brother Gibson, on social media?
Yeah, for right now, you can find me on Twitter or X, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And,
Let me change that to X. Let me do that here.
yeah. At Will Gibson 7. Instagram right now as well at Will Gibson 7, and Facebook is Will Knows.
All right, because you do have a new one on the ground. But yeah.
I do. Yep.
So
It's coming.
oh, and for you, Andy, I gotta do this as well myself. So let me do yours as well. X. All right. Okay, here we go there. Right.
X.com at Aeons_5. And nobody cares about where X, they can follow me on X.com. I will say this, one of these days I'll ask a question and I won't get my head chewed off for asking the wrong question. But we'll leave it at that. X.com.
No, you are a youngster to the game. Coach Sampson has cut me a new one many times. And heck, you were part of the show, the lunch break, when he cut Will's head.
Man.
So it's all part of it, man. It's all part of the initiation.
Yep.
And it was to a point. I had a couple of alums. Wow, it seemed like Coach Sampson was bitter toward y'all. I'm like, no, that's just who he is, man. No, it's all love. No worries whatsoever. We don't take any offense to it, and you don't either. Andy, don't worry about that. All right. I got to update mine here as well. I'm doing this on the fly, live. But for now, I'm still on X at the HR Review. But more and more, my content is on Threads at Houston Roundball Review, even on Spoutable at Houston Roundball Review, on YouTube, on the community tab at Houston Roundball Review. I posted Rice announced a new athletics director today. He will officially make it official on August 14th. And I felt proud because I received an email from the general Rice PR people, not the media, the athletic department. I got it from the public relations department. But Tommy McClellan will be the new Rice AD. He's coming from Vanderbilt, where he was the deputy athletic director the last couple of years. Prior to Vanderbilt, he was the AD at La Tech from 2003 to 2020. So Tommy McClellan will be officially Rice's new athletics director starting on August 14th. So let me do this as well. Let me pull it up, give a round of applause to our audience for their comments and questions.
Big weekend for you. Big week for you, too. So, like you mentioned, Chris, the scrimmage, and then they open training camp on Wednesday for football.
So correct. So UH football practice starts on Wednesday. UH basketball has a red and white scrimmage on campus on Tuesday. Doors open at 6. It's free to get in, Will, but fans have to pay to park.
Imagine that.
So, yeah, imagine that. But everyone, thank you very much for spending time out of your Sundays to join us here on the Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talking Sports. Follow us at Folks Talk Sports on Twitter. And now that it's created, follow Folks Talking Sports on Instagram, Folks Talking Sports on Threads. More and more content will be on those platforms. And if you missed it, I have posted comments from Coach Bloomgren from Rice football on FTS Twitter account, FTS X account on Graham as well as X, as well as comments, Will, from Temple head coach Stan Drayton.
Hey,
you should know from his time at Ohio State. Ask him a question. He gave me props for my question.
Yeah,
so I like that as well.
Yeah.
And also from a coach at USF football. So, yes, it's not just basketball here at the Houston Roundball Review. It's football. Folks Talking Sports. More and more. I'm getting back in the game. So just look out. I used to be in football years, long time ago. I'm getting back into it. And because I got back into it, that's how I got information about CU returning to the Big 12. Face-to-face, Will. I was told face-to-face at the Big 12 Football Media Day that it was going to happen by the end of the month, and they were correct. So just keep that in mind. And Andy, Will, Jamon, Tony M, go Coogs, Ryan, go Coogs, Big Thrillo, Corey. I had to sit down with Mike Oresco, Commissioner of the American. People. I'm not going, I don't know what to do. I can't make you realize, I can't make you open your eyes. Okay? But my sources, my contacts, I've been doing this a long time. Since 1994, Brother Gibson, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective.
That's
Y'all
6
take
years
care.
BAY.
Peace.